Oh, tough to believe we're talking about back to school time. Also, a little cold front going to help out at the bus stop.
Yeah, hopefully at least a little bit. It's all going to be very temporary. But you know what we're not dealing with, though, is the big time severe weather. When I say big time, I'm talking about tornadoes. I'm not complaining by any means, but tornadoes have been happening in other parts of the country. And as close as Yuma, Colorado, this took place yesterday evening. It's a beautiful looking tornado. Unfortunately, no one was injured. No one was hurt with this particular storm, but a couple of outbuildings were certainly damaged, and kind of around the same area. There was up to baseball size hail, but look at the debris cloud on that. I mean, it's definitely beautiful from a distance, especially, you know what, when it's not in Oklahoma and we don't have to worry about it. But large and dangerous tornado that took place in Colorado. That, again, was yesterday evening. We had our own storms, though, here in Oklahoma City, or at least in parts of Oklahoma. We did have some storms around the metro, but the severe threat, that was primarily off to the south and west, where we ended up with wind gusts over 60 miles an hour. Now, here in the metro, we had a 54 in Fort Cobb, a 47, and hitting a 51 in Minco. But in southwest Oklahoma, just before midnight, we had a 62 in Elk City, a 68 in Hobart, and lots of 50s across the border. As far as rain is concerned, we ended up with 0.09 here in Oklahoma City. Most of the rain, again, falling in southwest Oklahoma because initially those storms were stronger as they did move into the state. Weakened a little bit as they moved into Oklahoma City, but eventually a little bit more rain up there in the east and northeast. And we still have some rain and storms in parts of the state, but nothing severe currently. We could certainly see more severe weather, though, later this afternoon and evening. So looking at Next Gen Live, again, everything right now in southeast Oklahoma. Even as far as lightning strikes, really hard to see any of those down there right now, so that's come down quite a bit, but at least some light to moderate rain from Colgate up to parts of Poto and then down towards Bethel, but that's pretty light there. So lots of sunshine across the northwest and into central Oklahoma. You can kind of tell where the cold front is sitting just to the north and west, so behind it a little bit more clearing, but a lot more cloud cover across the south and southeast. So temperatures right now in the upper 80s. We do have some low to upper 80s across the north, but low in hundreds, where we still have that southwest wind gusting high as around 30 miles an hour. But this is eventually going to push off to the south and east. Not ahead of that, later this afternoon and evening, we could still see some more storms that will likely develop. This is some good news for us with that cold front moving through, because that's going to keep temperatures below that heat advisory criteria. That's not the case, though, for parts of southern and far southeast Oklahoma. You can see all of Texas. They've just been getting those upper 90s and low 100s for the longest time now. But later on this afternoon, as far as any more rain and storms are concerned, I think it's probably going to happen probably after about 4 or 5 o'clock. We should start to see some isolated showers and storms in the southeast, but the coverage won't really pick up until probably early evening. A lot of that, again, once again, falling in far southeast Oklahoma, so mostly just outside of the viewing area. We could get maybe a few storms in parts of Hughes County, Pontotoc County, but eventually everything's going to weaken and move out. So today we're shooting for a high of about 94 in Oklahoma City, but still holding on to those upper 80s in the north, the low 100s across the far south before the cold front moves in. So a moderate chance of rain and storms in parts of southeast Oklahoma. Some of those storms could become low and severe. We're talking maybe up to 65-mile-an-hour wind gusts and up to golf ball size hail, but I think that would be very isolated if we do get that. Again, that's going to stretch from just around Stevens County all the way over towards just south of Sallisaw, and that's where we could also see those wind gusts maybe over 60 miles an hour. Temperatures tonight dropping down into the upper 60s and low 70s, so not a bad start to your Thursday by any means. Tomorrow afternoon, I think eventually that one's going to be shifting back to the south and east. It's still going to be pretty light. Temperatures in the low 90s, but 90 degrees in Ponca City, 91 in Tulsa, the upper 90s, though, across the Red River. Tomorrow night into Friday morning, now we're going to have a slight chance of rain and storms across western and central Oklahoma, but that chance will go up a little bit more for the far east. As we get into Friday afternoon, warming things back up. 97 in Oklahoma City. We do have the low 100s across the south, 104 in Ardmore, 102 in Altus, 100 degrees in Hobart, and 97 in Alva, 98 degrees in Woodward. By Friday evening, here comes another chance of rain and storms coming in out of the Panhandle initially, but trying to make their way into northwest Oklahoma. So right now going with about a 40% chance, a 20% chance that we actually get anything here in Oklahoma City. But the rest of the weekend does look fairly dry. It just looks hot, really. Upper 90s. We do have some low 90s and some upper 90s as we get into next week. Lisa, back to you.